This is the Arise News Channel. It's the Global Business Report. We're crossing live to the Musa Yar'Adua Center in Abuja for the public presentation of Lai Mohammed's book, Headlines and Soundbites, Media Moments That Defined an Administration.
Next is the keynote address that will be by one who, at a point in time, presided over the civil service of the Federation. Civil Service of the Federation, who is our keynote speaker today. Let's go ahead as he comes to the microphone. Thank you very much.
Let me see the photo. Just before Nigeria, I see that everybody is brighter today. I want to stand, as we say in Nigeria, on existing plans. But please, it is not. And I see that one of these activities with mine, relaunching of the book event. So let me be very brief, maybe 5-10 minutes. Keynote address. When he invited me and gave me the title of his book, I said to myself that what else can we say about Nigeria when you're the Sand administration, and Nigeria's situation is a rolling cycle, so really nothing is new. I must say this, debatable, but I think really nothing is new. So I decided then to have a family table discussion, just any random topic, to remind us really what Nigeria is in perspective, the country, and maybe remind us more it should be. I met the author when he was in a second life student at Ife. Great Ife, by the way, great Ife. He came in as a student and he was that tiny lecturer at the university. And I said, what are you doing here? He said, no, I have my focus. I must do what I have to do. And of course, really, yes, he was a student. I had some inspiration from him that never say die. You just must continue pushing until you achieve all you have to do. And congratulations. Well, from that small little room in the boys' quarter, now we have the owner of mansions and one of the greatest names in Nigeria. But quickly to the topic which I decided to speak to, which is the Nigeria's unfulfilled global community expectations. Nigeria unfulfilled global community expectation. Why will I want to discuss this at this time? Is that seriously, Nigeria is at crossroads and is also at a point that it appears it has the least of respect, we must speak truth to each other. Despite all our efforts, we still are not commanding the respect that we deserve. So why don't we discuss why we are here? Why we are this spot? Why are we not where the rest of the world expects us to be? So let's remind ourselves of our history and know clearly that where the disappointment is, and in the balance of Gen Zs, where we are falling our hand, is really that the rest of the world believes that we are not managing the resources in our hands well enough. This is my own analysis, that really is that we're endowed with all sorts of resources. About 924 square kilometer land, fertile, good climate, filled with all sorts of resources, and human beings that are very handsome and beautiful, well constructed. Not to us in Nigeria, we are all well constructed, intelligent people, yet. So this is what we need to remind ourselves on. How did we get here? Well, we know that in the days before the colonial masters, we were quite independent people, having our own ways of life, having our freedom. Of course, there are skirmishes here and there, and sometimes the stronger will conquer the, but it's largely autonomous societies. And then the big bang, the thunder, the colonial masters came and integrated us with intention that diversity is strength. But as the days go by, we find that we're emphasizing our differences and really not our commonness. So, confronted with this, many attempts were made. Many attempts were made, both at the global and at the internal level. Maybe I should just also remind myself of what I had yesterday from referred Ambassador Gambari when he was giving his lecture in Ibadan yesterday. He said that President Rawlings was a guest of Prime Minister John Major, and he was given 1 hour for the interaction. But 45 minutes of the discussion was on Nigeria, pleading with John Major that he should not allow Nigeria to disintegrate. That if Nigeria did, that there will be no Ghana, because they go where they spill over and all sorts of things. This disaster for Ghana, and so the rest of the world holds that position strongly, and without really wanting to impress the rest of the world, but manage our resources well in a way that will be admirable to the rest of the world. Attempts were made. We had 1960 independence, parliamentary system, just to have a governance arrangement that will manage the resources equitably to the. We went into the Republican with also parliamentary arrangements, and then the military coup. And our story has not been the same since that time. Because before then, yes, we were fairly autonomous, and in the negotiation, the Lancaster House 1957-58 negotiation, we tried to negotiate these differentiated commonalities in a way that we could really be at our best. But then 1966 coup brought unitarization, and subsequent constitutions has found it very difficult to go back to a regime where healthy competitiveness was the watchword. So, and I can see the quest for constitutional reform all over and over. Those of us who are politicians and know better than me, I can see the direction. It's really to go back to that situation where we can have an arrangement where we will have healthy. So really you can see where this falling of hand is coming from. But then it's not just all bad news, because Nigeria that I knew as a young guy, when I went to do sabbatical at University of Zimbabwe, in those days the only university, you find Nigeria was a frontline state. Nigerians were there as foot soldiers, not even Nigerian soldiers, Nigerian civilians who are converted to be combatants. They were there. And resources of Nigeria were put in. So is the story of ECOMOG, story of Sudan, all over. We have that respect there. Let us build on that. In reconstructing ourselves, as said by the MC, this is some kind of reminder of a FEC, of a Federal Executive Council meeting, where strong decisions are taken. So this, you solve them. Notably, rule of law, bending of rule of law, and very weak institutions, extremely weak institutions, and the consequences of weak institution. Anything goes. But the anything goes today, we more or less pick out and say is corruption. But if you really look at the root of all of this, corruption can be taken out with rule of law, strong institutions, and of course, strong morality. Today, you find that because we have weak institutions, because we have not so much bending of rule of law, immorality is rising. Then because resources are not so optimally managed, you find our youth unemployed, largely. And you know, youth, they are restless as a group of people. They must find employment for themselves. So comes Yahoo Yahoo. So comes drugs. So all sorts of things. Of course, they are also very creative. So comes the entertainment world. But that's not really how to manage resources and optimize resources. So we need to tackle that. Rule of law, strong, and strong institutions. We also must address why we are losing faith in the instruments that really put us together and believe in ourselves. And that is the election. Today is a major, we must tell the truth to each other. There's loss of faith in the process. As strongly as we try to make believe that really elections can be done properly, everything be transparent, we still have a large part of our population who don't believe. That's an area we need to work strongly on. Those who don't believe must believe by doing what we think will make them believe. And that is your vote counts. Let our vote count. Let's work strongly. Because really, the consequences of ignoring what we have now is anarchy. Nobody wants anarchy. Please, our elders, my contemporaries, those who are younger, let's work together to save Nigeria through a credible electoral system. We should not also, I know there will be a lot of discussions on what we should reform, what we should not reform, but there's one thing that sticks out strongly, and that is the outcome of elections that enables a winner take all. No, we should say no to that. Let's construct in a way that even when you are lost, you have a stake. When you have lost, okay, I will round up. Thank you. Going forward, let me just do that. Is that over the last decade, declining performances both at the foreign scene have resulted in voices being raised at a disturbing level of elite delinquent behavior. In many quarters, that most elites have contributed to Nigeria's decline and less than sterling performance at various levels, including involvement in the Hydra-headed problem of corruption. People are now asking whether Nigeria can be restored. The introduction of the presidential system of government is too expensive. I think I'm giving you a minute more. So let me just go to my postscript. There is this pamphlet is available, so you can really share it and you can have a flip into this. So my postscript. President Trump's derogation of Nigeria is a wake-up call. Let's rise to the occasion, prove our worth, and not just be reactionary. Secondly, having practiced the present constitution for some years now, and having identified some defects in the constitution, constitutional amendment is long overdue. In the main, to decentralize some administrative arrangement, some aspects of security, the single tenure or executive elected offices. In the body, I explain why, but I think why we used to have 2 terms for vice chancellors. The vice chancellor will include 2 years. Second term. Also, if what you have, when we reduce ourselves to a 4-year single term, we have peace. You are coming once, you will soon go. 4 years, you will go. I think if you have that kind of expectation, maybe this is one reason I'm just suggesting that eliminating winner takes all, as I said, and including opposition in government. Priorities of governance should include adherence to rule of law, good governance, and social. Forward-looking and adaptive. We must embrace all these attributes so that the world's moving train will not leave Nigeria behind. be sincere with ourselves. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Oladapo Afolabi, who was our keynote speaker at this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him another warm round of applause. Thank you so very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you would agree with me that the day is running fast and there'd be need for us to keep a strict eye on the time. And therefore, you would please excuse my speeding things up a little bit. And please do understand if we have to skip a few things here. I do have a very long list here. I did say at the start that if we were to start mentioning all those who are in this hall today, we probably would be here by the end of tomorrow's work day, and there would still be more who would come in. So for those who were yet to recognize, I sincerely apologize. We do appreciate your presence here. Every so often we will slip in an acknowledgement as we can. But we need to move ahead because we have a number of people who need to play particular roles here this morning. Well, it's gone a little bit afternoon. And so let me at this point move on to a few of our dignitaries who will be making very brief remarks here on this presentation, and would like to appeal to them, for those we can appeal to keep such comments and remarks short, straight to the point, and as we say in broadcasting, keep it short and simple, KISS. And we will start off, ladies and gentlemen, let me at this point invite His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State to bring. Let's put our hands together.
Your Excellencies, let me also stand on the already established protocol. I looked through the room and I thought, did I come to a wrong place? No, I did not. This place is filled with Nigerians, leaders of our country. So, and I came not because, very soon I'll be a former governor, maybe ex-governor, maybe in 17 months. So it's not that my table is getting lighter, it is actually getting lighter. But I said I must be here because opportunity may just present itself where they'll say, well, Seyi, maybe you can say one or two things. Now I'm here. And they've actually asked me to say one or two things. Let me congratulate my elder brother on putting together your own account of some moments that are really critical in the history of Nigeria. A lot of us were not even prepared for that. So to be able to go out there, put pen to paper, and then have at least something to criticize. I saw Segun Adeniyi. I like the criticism, but I would like to encourage our leaders also, our history by documenting how you've seen things, from your own perspective. So I'll say congratulations to you, Chief Lai Mohammed. And from Segun Adeniyi's criticism, which is the conductor now getting on the driver's seat, there's a change of mentality. And I would like to see that also. I don't take it that Segun Adeniyi just mentioned that. Two things that I would like to just bring out briefly. One is the fact that I'm sure Dr. Agboola Gambari will bear me witness. He invited me, to come and meet President Buhari. I only went to Aso Rock maybe 3 times during President Buhari's second tenure. One of such times, he invited me to come and brief him on the crisis in Oyo State regarding clashes between the Yorubas and the Hausa Fulani, herders, farmers, all of that. And then when I got in, I told the president that, well, you may not have sat with me at close quarters like this since you became president, but we were actually together the first time. I was in Oyo South Senatorial. The governorship candidate lost. Was lost. No. 2015, President Buhari won. He became president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 4 years later, I won. I became governor. So what it means is only God that and how trajectory of us. Why am I saying this? My experience being in 58 in maybe 10 days, or maybe 8 office for of my experience is that Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians, the elite, this book, because across the leader. So because we have here Nigerians from across the divide, I believe we need elite consensus, just Professor Folabi. We always arguing. Every time we meet, it's arguing. How to move forward. But I'll leave you with just one thing to ponder. He said here that Nigeria was negotiated under a condition. Of course, federalism was settled in that negotiation. Multi-party democracy was settled in that negotiation. And we made agreement. Yes, I've had the opportunity to discuss with some of our leaders that were players in that period. And they said, well, the only that is the only problem. So federalism, all those things, they became secondary. Their major task was to problem that we're faced with today. The answer is no. So we must identify the problem and design something that will allow us that problem. A magic bullet is, Prof mentioned it, design an arrangement where there will be no winner take all politically in Nigeria, and I think it will be better for us. So once again, congratulations on this book. I will buy some, but I won't announce how much I'm going to pay. I'm a public servant now. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go through this as quickly as we can, and we'll put a time limit of 2 minutes on all the speakers. May I, at this point, invite Lawi, Chairman, House Committee on North Central Development Commission, who will quick remarks on behalf of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Permit me to stand on the already established protocol. My name is. I'm here today in two capacities. One, as the representative of the Right Honorable Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, PhD. At the same time, I'm the Honorable Member representing Alhaji Lai Mohammed at the House of Reps. It's a privilege. It's my third time in the House, giving a very good representation to my leader. Thank you very much. The Speaker is unavoidably absent here today because the other assignment, and he asked me to stand in for him and represent him in all aspects of the program. Donation is being made. Though I have his word, like His Excellency Engineer Makinde said, as a civil servant, the Speaker will not definitely announce this but he asked me to donate handsomely and to give Alhaji Lai Mohammed his word that this book is a must read for every one of us, because the information embedded in this book is coming from somebody who saw it all, participant, somebody who is speaking from an angle where most of us don't have the opportunity or privilege. So once again, on behalf of my Speaker, Right Honorable Tajudeen Abbas, I pass this message to all of you. Thank you for giving us this support in honor of our brother, our father, our political leader, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Once again, thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, and Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will take a number of quick remarks, and from now on, it won't be in any particular order.
Let's cross back to the Musa Yar'Adua Center in Abuja for the public presentation of Lai Mohammed's book, Headlines and Soundbites, Media Moments That Defined an Administration.
Halima Buhari presenting the message of Her Excellency, the former First Lady, Aisha Mohammed Buhari, at this book presentation. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, so we have reached that point where this book will be unveiled, and thereafter the real business of the day will commence. Now, in order to unveil this book, let me respectfully invite the following. Just before I do that, let me quickly acknowledge the presence here of one or two people who were key to this. I would like to acknowledge the presence here of a former governor of Kwara State, Dr. Abdul Fattah Ahmed, who's been with us here. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you so very much. And of course, you would have noticed that a short while ago, we saw a former Minister of the Federal Republic, Solomon Dalun, who was in charge of sports at some point. He stepped in here. And so also, I think I spotted earlier on, former Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika. Thanks for being here, both of you. So, Your Excellencies, may I now respectfully invite those who would accompany the author and his wife to unveil this book. A respected chairman of today's occasion, His Excellency Chief Bisi Akonde, will also ask to join that train Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Arewa Consultative Forum, Haji Bashir El Hatu, as well as the Royal Highnesses, the Emir of Argungu, the Emir of Nasarawa, and the Chief of Karshi, the Speaker's representative, and of course one whom we recognize his presence here, Kashim Imam. Thank you for being here. We'll also ask you to join in at the unveiling of the book, as well as former Governor Dr. Abdul Fattah Ahmed to also join in, to join the author, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, and his wife, to unveil this book, after which the chief launchers will now have their day here. As they go on there, they will also be joined by Honorable Minister of Information, who would also join in the group to unveil the book. Honorable Minister Mohammed Idris, who is joining this group as well to unveil the book. Thereafter, the big honors will be done by the chief launchers. Thank you very much.
honor a great leader like the great people of Nigeria. And we have these unveiled by the title, headline, and soundbite.
Should I just hold on to it?
Media moments that define an administration.
Are they going to come up? They are going to come up.
Yeah, hold on a copies. And also, please, they said they should tell them that they can have a copy of their way out.
Yes. Are they coming up here to... What is this one?
What is
this one?
That is the caricature of the book.
Okay, just to do that, respected chairman and the group would proceed up to the podium here where there is a symbolic cutting of a tape to unveil. We'll do that right away, and then we'll now begin to call on the chief launchers who would also do the honors here. Yes, please. Thank you.
I understand.
The chief launchers also should join in. The chief launchers join in the cutting of it there. They should also join in. Launchers should join in, the chief launchers and their representatives. And then we will get down to the business of the day.
Let me also use this opportunity and thank you very much. Number one, I think Mohammed's, who has been with people from 2002, everyone was into the Kenya. Something like that, we are still very, very, very well deep. We are part of the family. Number two, as a people time, I would launch this book. We are working on the numbers with a small committee on how to 100 million. And I say, I spoke to the professor and many others were trying to figure out we better the number and share around the international. I've also agreed with some of the children like Red who also think that here they are the choice.
Thank you very much. The distinguished chairman of the occasion, Honorable Minister here present, the distinguished author and former Minister of Information and Culture, Royal Fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am here standing for Hajj Abdul Samad interview the chairman of World Group, who will have loved to be here, that he has even scheduled to have been here. Until very late, he asked me to stand in for him because of other responsibilities that he has scheduled in Toronto. He first and foremost, I should commend you for this effort, for documenting the work that you have done under the Buhari regime for 8 years, and also commend your intellectual doggedness for keeping records for posterity. I think this is highly encouraging. I have heard somebody saying this, I think, dogmatically. All leaders, I think, if you pick one of their literatures, you will have a snippet of the history of the country, history of the people who have played role. I think this is what you have considered in doing. I think is highly commendable. My chairman asks that they would like to purchase 20 copies with the humble sum of 100.
Thank you so much, Your Excellencies. The book has been unveiled, and now is the time for the chief launchers to do the honors. Let me at this point now call on Alhaji Nasiru Haladudanu OFR Sadona Dutse Tabita Babandora to take it on.
Live coverage from the Musa Yar'Adua Center in Abuja, where former Minister of Information Lai Mohammed presented his book, Headlines and Soundbites, Media Moments That Defined an Administration.